Okay, dear friends, we are back. Today I'd like to continue our series of Vulnhub. The virtual machine would be Symfonos 5. I will add the link into the description section below so that you can download this virtual machine. Before we begin today's video, if you don't mind, please subscribe to my channel. I do appreciate your help and support. So without further ado, let's just get started. To save time, I have already imported this virtual machine into the VMware workstation. And I also configure its network adapter as host only mode. Now we can go inside the Kali Linux. As you can see over here, I have already identified the IP address of the virtual machine as 173. And then I did the nmap scanning, I did the scene scan, the version scan, and the default script scan. And also I put the option of -p- to do the comprehensive scan. And then output the result to this file. As you can see, there are several open ports on the virtual machine. The first one is 22, which is running SSH service and also the actual version information. As we know, this version doesn't have any vulnerability. The second one is 80, which is running HTTP service and also the actual version information, which is Apache 2. And the next two open ports are used by the LDAP. As you know, the LDAP is some sort of a special database which can store information like users information, like password information, and organization information. So I think we need to keep this into our minds as we move forward. Okay? So what we are going to do next is to do some emulation for the 80 port. So now let's open up the browser and access this website or the virtual machine. And there is just, as usual in this series, the image. And we cannot find anything useful from this image itself. And then also we can check whether this site has robots file, but not found. And then we can use the Licto to do some direct emulation. As you can see, the Licto has identified the one file, which is admin. Let's access this file. Of course, we can try like a weak credentials like admin, but it's not working. And also we can try some sort of the login bypass techniques like admin, and then password we can put any random information and then login, but invalid login. And also we can, I think I like to interrupt this preset, and also we can use the GoBuster to do more direct emulation. And specify the option or extension like HTML. And immediately we have got some other files like home, but this will be redirect to the admin automatically. and also lockout and portraits. And of course, we can try to access this file, but this file does just give us some images. But similarly, we cannot get anything useful from such images. To save time, I will pass this step. So now we go back to our browser. Maybe we can intercept the request to see whether we can confirm whether this page exists SQL injection vulnerability. If the backend is running the relational database like a MySQL, and this is the very certain thing we need to do to see whether this page has SQL injection vulnerability. And we can set the proxy to Burp Suite, and we can launch the Burp Suite and intercept the request. And configure the intercept option on, and then we can launch the request. Of course, the Burp Suite will intercept the request for us, and we can copy this information to our working directory and name it as REQ and save. And then we can use the SQL map to do the SQL injection vulnerability test. But I can tell you, we cannot run some useful results from this SQL map injection testing. To save time, I don't want the process to go on. So wait a minute. So maybe at the background, the username and password, this login panel, is not connected to the MySQL database. Maybe it's connected to the LDAP server, because as we know from the Nmap scanning, we can know on the background there's some LDAP service running, right? So maybe the LDAP also similar to the SQL injection. The LDAP has LDAP injection vulnerability, and to test this, we can use the. But of course, we need the payload, and I've already opened up this resource, and we can copy these payloads for our test, and we can generate the payloads. And let's write and quit and use the fuzz tool. And I think we have already got this is the URL, right? We can make a copy, and then we can go back here. And then put here, and but here we need to change a domain field to be fuzz. And then, of course, password you can supply any random information. It doesn't matter, because we just want to test whether the username has LDAP injection vulnerability. And we can specify the word list. This is the custom word list, what we have already created just now. And then we can hit enter. But it's not working. Oh, sorry. I need to remove the duplicate the IP address. All right. Let's hit enter again. As you can see, when run this payload, the response code is 302. It means that redirection, and we can copy this payload and go back to our login panel, paste in here. And password, we can put anything like a password and login. It seems it's working. And we wait for this. Oh, I need to turn off. Oh, sorry, I need to do it again. And password. Login. As you can see, we have already logged in successfully. And as we walk through very quickly on this page and the portraits, so from the URL or path, maybe this parameter URL exists the local file inclusion vulnerability, and we can check. As you can see, we have already retrieved this content of the password file. And as usual, you can check whether we can access like var log, but didn't get the result. And as I did in the other videos, you can try everything, but you will not find user information. So hold on. You know, because we have already confirmed that the virtual machine has the local file inclusion vulnerability, and we can try to whether we can access the source code of the admin file. Nothing special here, but if we check the source code, as you can see, we have already got some source code of the admin PHP. And here, this is the username for the LDAP collection, and this is the password. Then next, we need to enumerate out all the LDAP user information by the nmap. I have already opened up the nmap script. This script, the LDAP search script, and we can use the nmap. And the script is LDAP search. And we need to put the arguments. Let's just paste in here. And then the username. Paste in here. Because we have already got the username for the LDAP from this source code, right? And we just make a copy and paste in here, right? And then we need to put the password. Where? Yeah, here. And the password. Yeah, the password. And password. This is password. And just paste in here. Okay, I think I have already configured properly. Okay, let's hit enter. As you can see, we have already retrieved the user information like theirs and also its corresponding password here. So we can sudo or not sudo ssh those and yes, and we just make a copy of this password and paste in here, and then we can sudo. It means that we can elevate our privilege by running the command of dpkg without supplying the root password. Okay, but how to do it? We need to get the help from the website of the GTF OBINS. You know, this website is very wonderful and useful when we do the local privilege escalation. So we just make a copy sudo bin dpkgl and we just run. Now, as you can see from the banner, we have already become the root user. So we can navigate to the root directory and we can get the root flag there. Okay, so that's all I'd like to go through this virtual machine, because we have already elevated our shell to the root user and retrieved the root flag without any issue. Okay, so that's all I'd like to do in this video. Hope to see you in the next one. Bye.